Hello, hello. It's Coyote Christina, surfer, author, dream weaver. My backdrop has changed a little. I'm actually in Omaha, Nebraska right now. Came back for the weekend for a big family reunion. My mom's mom. There were 9 brothers and sisters, and there's probably like 5, 6, maybe even 7 generations now. So I think it was every 2 years. Now it's every 3 years. So coming back to visit my mom, go to the reunion. And wanted to get the post done for the day. So hope you're having a good week, that you've done some sun salutations from Movement Monday and been doing the Samana Vayu breathing, which is breathing from our solar plexus. We also talked about the solar plexus quite a bit yesterday and the day before. It aligns with that conscious choice and really being able to manage and become more aware of our actions and not just simply knee-jerk reactions. That was probably one of the first things I realized in my journey, was just did not have the free will that I like to think I had, and I wasn't making choices every day. It was like I had just learned ways, like just habits, basically reacting out of habit, and the problem was that I was reacting and coping in ways that had been established in childhood and from childhood trauma, and they weren't empowering. They weren't helping me build the life of my dreams or connect with my heart and soul. I had always pushed stuff away, so I wasn't connected with my inner world, and so just becoming aware, becoming aware that I wasn't aware was step number 1. And now sometimes I still wonder. We are on week 3. We're a couple of days left here. Saturday will be the last day. And it's always a journey. I know this is what I want to do, and I'm committed to this campaign and to posting every day. But there's days where those little my voices come up of doubt, like, who wants to listen to what you have to say? It doesn't make sense. Not even relevant to most people, or nobody cares. So it just gets, that just means usually that it's time to sit down and connect with my inner self. If I can help and support, if my story or the information I share about animal guides or chakras can help one other person heal, become a more healthy, happy person in the world, then it's worth it. It's just hard sometimes because, I don't know, just because. But today we are going to move from conscious choice to the faith. This is the realization stage, and the main 3 concepts in the realization stage are conscious choice, faith, and no more drama. We've talked about conscious choice. We're going to talk about faith today, and we'll talk about no more drama. It's probably going to be the start of next week. I don't know if we'll get to it on Friday or Saturday. But faith and animal guides. So the animal guides for faith are elk, which is stamina, porcupine for innocence, grouse is sacred spiral, antelope for action, and black panther for embracing the unknown. And this is a faith that isn't based in one absolute or one truth. This is a faith that is based in walking into the unknown with no guarantees. Just having enough faith in who you are and what you know is right to follow that path, and not knowing what's going to be at the end. So our skill set for faith, I don't think that's the skill set for faith. Oh yes, the skill set for faith is to be guided by the wisdom within and trust our body's knowing. So it's really, when we take that time for self-reflection, when we think about animal guides and just like, am I making a conscious choice here? Am I reacting? Just those little bits of awareness start to connect us with our own knowing, and that intuition. So many times I've had where it's like, I knew, but I didn't want it to be true. So I talked myself out of things. One example that always comes up to me, because it was such a strong intuition, when I was on a dating app in 2017, and a guy that I met, and sitting across the table from him, the instant I met him, I was like, don't trust this guy. But then this little voice in my head, because I wanted to date him and I wanted to trust him, no, you should trust him until he does something where he shows you he's not trustworthy, blah, blah, blah. So I talked because I didn't want to. It wasn't it wasn't that he was I knew he wasn't trustworthy. Something in me knew, sitting across the table from him, he was not trustworthy. But I talked myself into it, and then I got hurt. But luckily, I recognized it and I walked away when this trust was broken. And I finally, after 50 years, realized that people have to earn my trust. They don't just get a default, I'll trust you until you hurt me. No, you're going to prove to me you're trustworthy before I put my vulnerability or have faith in our relationship and building it. 50 years. It seems like a basic concept here. Anyway, so the goals are to unlearn the fear created by ignorance and circumstance. And to me, the ignorance and circumstance is basically our upbringing circumstances, our trauma, our family history, our genes, environment. Ignorance is when we, like what I was just saying, I was choosing ignorance. Like I knew, my body knew not to trust, something in me knew not to trust that man sitting across the table from me in the capacity of a romantic relationship. And, but I didn't. I chose ignorance. I chose what I wanted instead of what I knew. And I have to say, yesterday or Wednesday when I was doing the post and I started reading about Raven medicine and magic, and it said this sparkling synchronicity, and like the synchronicity at that time was the leaf blower going off in the hallway as they're like out there, and I'm winding up and the dog barking, and I was like, sparkling synchronicity, who would have thought? I don't know. The good news is I just find it amusing, and most of these videos are pretty much the first take, so they're candid. Just getting the video done, getting it posted, and managing the rest of my life has been pretty crazy, so it's a little rough around the edges, but I hope you're enjoying and learning from them. So animal guides, we've discussed how we need to become more aware so that we can make conscious choices, and this is going to be going into talking more about, so this is an excerpt from Amazed and Amused. It's kind of a long one, but just to end up the session today, we'll go back to the Amazed and Amused campaign. I'm going to read an excerpt from my second book that I finished the rough draft. I'm getting it edited right now, and this campaign is all about getting the word out, asking people for support. If you can subscribe on Substack, if you can go to my website, tkcdreams.net, and pre-order your copy, be one of the first to hold it in your hands. I would be super, super appreciative of that. All right. When we are able to recognize and practice the medicine of blue heron, snake, and salmon, we move away from the childlike fantasies of youth that are based in ignorance toward the engaged faith of an adult who is able to see and accept life on life's terms, and who can begin to embrace the joy of what is, no longer caught up in an egocentric view of the world or in the tunnel vision of one singular experience. As our vision expands, we reach greater levels of awareness. We discover new insights that allow us to make conscious choices based in wisdom, and we begin to experience the powerful magic of Raven. As we near the end of the conscious choice section of the realization stage, we find that reflecting upon these animal guides and being open to the lessons they provide lead us to impeccability in the medicine of Jaguar. And this medicine creates a place where our thoughts, words, and actions align and build our integrity and simplify our life at the same time. As we progress on our inner journey and move forward in the realization stage, we come to the faith portion of our journey. Conscious choice leads to faith, and faith increases our ability to make conscious choices. In this way, the inner journey is not linear, but rather interconnected. Each leg of the journey builds upon the prior section, but our progress is not necessarily straight ahead. During the faith section of the journey, we begin to trust life at a level we did not realize was possible when we are acting from habit and following outward expectations. We have developed our third chakra in a way that honors the power within and enables us to learn that the fire within burns through all blocks and fears. These are the mantras for our third chakra, and I found them in Anadea Judith's book, the one I've talked about for chakras, Eastern Body and Western Mind. When the energy of our solar plexus chakra, the third chakra at the body center, is balanced and strong, we have the ability to contain our emotional reactions in all situations. This takes many years, sometimes more than we have left on this earth, but we can at least work to become as passionate and balanced as possible in the here and now, day by day. With a strong, balanced third chakra, we begin to trust the universe to provide. This has a lot to do with ant medicine, which goes back to humanity. This beginning of trust opens the opportunity for us to take a leap of faith that emphatically proclaims, being me is all I need to be. Take it or leave it, baby. If we find that we are not quite ready to take this leap of faith, we can call on elk, porcupine, grouse, antelope, and black panther to help guide us on this portion of the journey and to build our trust to a level that not only aligns with our beliefs, but also inspires action. On the faith section of the journey, we release our life into faith. It is not faith in something, it is stepping into the known without assurance. This is from Stepping Out of Self-Deception, the first book I ever read on Buddhism, one of the only books I've read on Buddhism. But it's by Rodney Smith, and it is amazing. Stepping Out of Self-Deception. We work to become a steadfast, peaceful mountain that has found its place in the landscape of life and whose being creates a world of its own, a world that upholds humanity and empowers each individual to choose one's own path to attain self-determination. And this is where faith will lead us as slowly or as quickly as we are willing to follow. So that kind of introduces the faith section of the journey. This type of faith is exciting and exhilarating. We don't sit around faithing about things. You don't just like believing in things. Like you don't sit around faithing about things and hoping we'll be proven right by the winds of fate. There are no hypocrites when it comes to faith because words and actions align naturally. We are what we do what we are. When we are able to live according to the truth deep within, when our actions, beliefs, and desires align in all areas of our life, we are connected to the wisdom within and guided by its knowing. So there you have it. So that's the little introduction to faith and a couple of animal guides. We'll talk about them maybe if we have some time. I feel like there's been so many animal guides I haven't gotten to talk about, but little introductions. Elk is stamina, porcupine is for play, grouse is sacred spiral, so that's like movement and the sacredness of movement. Antelope is about action, and then black panther, embracing the unknown. All right, I hope you all have a great day, and I'm not by the ocean, but I'm gonna give some shaka vibes today. Cheers.